studio overlooking the city of Los Angeles, this is your Universal Perspective with Josefem Dolezalem.
Hi, Joe. This is Elizabeth Joyce, and it's wonderful being able to deliver a message to your special country. Because Europe is at war. As a matter of fact, the entire world is at war. We are about to celebrate Thanksgiving here in the United States. And I ask everyone to bow their heads, pray, and understand exactly where we stand. Because this week, there has taken place the largest combined nuclear-capable bomber fights since World War II. Russians, French, Americans, and others still up against the ISIS, or the Daesh. This week, for the first time, practice in Iran for an attack on the temple site in Jerusalem. This week, more cities placed on special alert and more laws were passed or activated, giving more special powers to the governments of more countries than any supposed peacetime in the past. This week, more nuclear weapons moved to forward positions and activation procedures started than any other time since the Cold War and the peace talks. Every front has become an affront, with threats and blusters up by the government, military, politicians, and terrorists alike. Who is friend and who is foe? There are not too many that know that the weapons that strike the Russians are American-made. No one thinks ISIS is capable of making its own TOW missiles. The weapons that strike the ISIS are American-made. No one expects Iraq, Saudi Arabia to make their own TOW missiles. Made in America, the world's largest arms supplier, finds good business from all sides of war. Russians say they bombed the ISIS, but Americans accuse them of bombing American allies. So who are American allies? The Ukraine? Enrico Invino, the Ukrainian national leader, said this week, ISIS is our ally and in struggle against Russia. Would that not make ISIS an ally of our ally? Who's on whose side? It's important to be on the side of God. More on either side. More are either on the side of the Antichrist or on the side of the false prophet. Most readers do not like me to talk about this. It makes them feel uncomfortable. What is, they say with a shrug. And I respond, what is about to be, will be, and very shortly.
Very nice.
It's the truth. I'm a bringer of truth. And it's inspiring, it's powerful, and it does make you think, doesn't it, Joe?
Yes, it does.
We have to think about where we are. We were all born to be in this time. We chose our lifetime. We chose where we are. We did.
Yes, we did. Mm-hmm.
And we are living in an amazing time as the world rushes into a conflict that it cannot win because it's a divine destiny and it doesn't even comprehend what divine destiny is. If I were given the choice to live at any time in any place, I would want to hold the hand of whatever God's center I worshipped. And I would want to serve him the best. All of the religions, Jews, Hindus, Muslims, Christians, each consider themselves the best and the favorite of all men in the eyes of God. But they are not loving God through the eyes of man because they have their prejudices. We need to come together. We need to understand what unity really is at this time, this year, this month, this week, and this day. We see great animosity growing among mankind, especially on the internet. Look at the teenagers that are brutalized. Look at the people that are just playing a game of solitaire or a game of pinochle on the internet and how they're brutalized and talked to in hateful ways. But we have to understand that if a man says, I love God and hateth his brother, he's a liar. For he loveth not his brother, who he has seen. How can he love a God who he has not seen? I did write a book last year called Nurturing the Garden of Your Soul, and it's a very powerful book, and it does spell out what you can do to get closer to your own personal God. You know, I've written 8 books, Joe.
Right.
And hopefully they've been very helpful to the world. I wrote one about psychics, bad psychics, psychic attacks, and I wrote 3 books of all the teachings that I've done over the past 30 years. And you can advance your knowledge in the sixth sense and the world beyond by learning some of the lessons in them. And then I wrote about ascension, what is true ascension. And that's a powerful book as well. So here I am.
Yeah, I will recommend it to our Czech listener, all your books, because I think you are one of the best world psychics, you know, so...
Well, I do consider myself a spiritual
leader. Yeah.
I do. I know I have psychic abilities. I was born that way. But hopefully I've grown and expanded and gotten to the place where what I have is valuable for me, but it's invaluable to others. And I really have been able to help through disease, through lost articles, through finding people, as well as helping relationships heal.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Now, you said you're gonna have predictions for next year.
I'm starting to write my predictions for next year.
Can you tell us something about them?
I can tell you some, yes.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, I was sitting with my class last Thursday telling them about Paris and London and Brussels, and everything happened Friday morning.
Oh.
But I wrote these predictions at the end of October, just so you know the timing. And I said, 2016 is a year filled with constant change, especially within the U.S. national presidential election. Expect lots of unrest worldwide as ISIS takes hold of new areas. War and weather will be the main focus of 2016, as well as world leaders. Berlin, Paris, London, Rome, Brussels, and possibly Hong Kong will be the areas of ISIS destruction and chaos. Also keep an eye on Rio de Janeiro in Brazil. India finds unlikely, doesn't it, Joe?
Okay, now it is fine.
I do think it's going to happen. As China economy collapses, Russia comes to the rescue. Hopefully, they'll come together and become a stronger world power. That's what they want. Technology grows, new companies form, and the job market improves. The stock market will dip in November, bringing a dismal Christmas and holiday season. It does recover, but that takes a while. In December, there's a shock regarding Obama, and everybody wants to know if everything is okay. Everything comes to a stop. And that is so powerful right now, Joe. And here we are on the 23rd of November, and I'm wondering what that's really about, but I feel that we might even have to have martial law declared.
Oh,
this
really?
is a serious thought. There is a serious drought in Australia in January as an upsetting cold and high wind. I'm sorry. There is serious drought and dryness in Australia, and there'll be a lot of fires in Australia, as well as in New England, cold high winds, and throughout Canada. Australia has water problems during their winter, and a major city and several off-coast islands will vanish underwater. There's a lot of water and land disruption in 2016, excessive flooding in southern England with tidal waves causing damage. Snow begins in New England, Maine, New Hampshire, and Vermont at the end of November of 2015 and continues into April of 2016. Expect many power outages and fuel shortages on the East Coast, as well as Canada this winter. Lots of darkness. Prepare for emergencies. Skiing becomes a very bit unpopular due to the ice formations and dangers on the slopes. February will be very cold, but March brings a 2-week warm-up and then some more snow. However, the West and Northwest will have a milder winter. Colorado will wonder when winter begins, and this also impacts the ski areas. I see that skiing is almost going to come to a stop this year, and that's amazing because you know that the Western states enjoy their ski times. That's when they make the most money.
Right.
There's an unexpected death in the royal family, and the surprise is that it could be Prince Charles, thus fulfilling my 2013 prophecy that he will never become King of England. Kate is pregnant again with another girl. Turkey is in the news and will eventually become the center of the Arab Republic. They invade the Kurdish areas of Syria. British troops are on the ground with massive drones to combat this attack. And Joe, that just started to happen. Remember, I wrote this last month, and it's all starting to happen.
Right.
Food prices rise higher over the next 3 years due to poor economic decisions and weather issues. New England states will be hit the worst this winter, creating heating fuel problems. This will reach down into New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and parts of Ohio, Washington, D.C., reaching down into Virginia and the Shenandoah Valley. This was upsetting. I got something about a famous football player. Somebody's going to try to shoot a famous football player before the Super Bowl. A great movie debuts in February, but is not included in the 2015 Academy Awards. Next year, for sure, this one becomes another classic. Spotlight wins the Best Picture in February of 2016. March, Chicago, Detroit brings mass marches and political unrest. There could be a war on U.S. soil as well as stock market showing fatality, partly because of the China-Russia activity and news from Greece. Now, the interesting thing was that one of the people that was apprehended because of the Paris explosions got a fake passport from Greece. So I thought that was interesting. So these are some of them. Do you have any questions?
Did you know something about the future California?
No, you're not going to have that happen. That's not going to happen until we get past 2020. If you're worried about the big wave and the plates underneath, that's not ready yet, but that will come. I think it's going to come between 2020 and 2025. Mm-hmm. But it's not going to come this year, so you're safe for a while.
We are safe for now, okay. All right. Now, I got question also because I am from Czech Republic, and I got a date of when first time the Czech Republic became the state of Czech Republic. I mean Czechoslovakia. It was September 28, 1918.
Okay.
So, can you say something about the date? It is positive or negative in compared to future, what we going through now? I mean...
Well, you're wondering if Czechoslovakia is going to be taken over?
By European Union, because everything looks like that.
Well, the good news to me is that the European Union will be dissolved, and one of the first people that's going to pull away is Finland. I do not see the European Union growing. Actually, it can't, according to Scripture, because it already has the 10 members.
Okay.
Those are the 10 horns that are written about in Revelation. I see the European Union being forced to dissolve. I see Finland pulling out. I see Germany pulling out, and a few other areas as well. Those are the two names that were given to me for this year.
Okay. All right.
So I guess you're going to be okay. I hope you're going to be okay, because you should be allowed to have your own country, and you should not be taken over in any way, shape, or form. So I'm going to put that thought out. It's a strong one.
Okay. Yeah, that's because everything looks like European Union, tried to take over like Czech Republic now, Slovak Republic to Poland and Hungary. So,
no.
I mean,
there is a new natural resource in all three countries that they found. It's something like plutonium. I'm not sure what it is, but I know they want the country because of the natural resources there.
And we're talking about Czech Republic or which
Yes,
country?
Hungary, Czechoslovakia, and Poland.
Oh, okay. And also, what we got over there, um, the Parliament of Czech Republic, that's they are all traders, you know.
Yes, almost everybody in every country in
I-
the European Union are stealers, liars, and thieves.
Exactly.
Gypsies and thieves. Everyone in every union. There is going to be a called accounting, and I'm not sure about how that's going to happen, Joe, but I'm glad you asked me. This will be in Geneva, and I'm telling you that they are going to apprehend and catch, or at least expose, the ones that have been doing the stealing. This is the first step towards the dissolving of the union. None of the money in the European Union has gone to help the general public. None of it. It's gone into the pockets of the rich and the greedy.
Yeah. And what is in our case, I mean Czech Republic, what is interesting, who's standing with the people and he basically working for the interest of the people of Czech Republic is President Miloš Zeman. And what is interesting on it, he is born also on 28th of September, but 1944, like the Czech Republic became a sovereign state, you know.
I think he'll come forward more this next year, but I do feel that there's a lot of jealousy around him and that his life may be in danger. Why is it that when people want to do the right thing, other people want to try to kill them? Why is that?
Yeah, well, that's always that way, you know, because
I know.
unfortunately.
There'll be a struggle, but I do not feel your country taken over. Not if they take the right steps, and I feel that they're beginning to take the right steps. But it's a terrible situation. I mean, did anybody in the 1700s or 1800s ever think that we'd have Uzis and robots that kill and all of that type of thing?
Yeah.
It's a nightmare. It's really a nightmare.
Yeah, that's basically Satan's work, you know, work of Satan. I feel it that way.
Yes, I call it the work of the darkness or the work of anti-light. There is no love, there is no caring, there is no family values. There really are no laws of mankind in these people who are trained to kill for their thoughts. If you think this way, I will kill you and cut off your head. And this is coming, and I'm telling you, ISIS has more money than China, Russia, the United States, India, and the United Kingdom combined. They are very, very well endowed. And it's something to really be concerned about. And we've only seen the very beginning of it. I do think that there will be guns on the American soil. Now, I'm not sure whether it's this year or next year. It may well be next year. But I'm feeling Chicago is going to be an area of attack. Chicago and Atlanta both come in very strong. And those two areas haven't even been mentioned, Joe.
Yeah, I know. But what I kind of notice, all the problems coming with or from, mostly from Chicago and Washington, D.C., you know?
Chicago, of course, has that international airport. And I understand that there's lots of groups there that have formed that are Muslim groups or ISIS groups.
Right.
And the one secret place that no one knows that they're there is in the Blue Ridge Mountains of Virginia. There's a lot going on. There's all kinds of guns and training camps, and nobody knows what soldiers they are. They're dressed like soldiers, but they don't have to be United States soldiers. I wish that would get investigated.
Yeah, yeah. Well, put it that way, it is hard to kind of judge by that because it looks to me when most of aggressivity coming from our side and west side towards his country, you know.
You
like
have
that.
to understand that he is afraid to die, and you have to understand that when he stops to cooperate, it's only because he's in danger. He himself, not necessarily his country,
Right.
but he himself. And then he'll act. Russia it is written, I don't know if you know this, but it is written as World War III begins that Russia will instigate World War III and that other countries will begin to join it. It is 3.5 years in and 3.5 years out. And we are here. And there's Russia starting it like it was predicted.
Yeah.
So somehow I have to hang on to these ancient predictions that go way back to Abraham. I notice you have the pyramids in back of you.
Yeah, yeah.
I want you to know that I worked with the ARE, the Association of Research and Enlightenment, and I went to Egypt and I was in the pyramids and I was able to do the entire initiation that they did in Egypt years ago. And I drew a map of what is under the paws of the Sphinx as well as what is under there's another extra chamber in the Great Pyramid, and I do think they will find it. And I worked with a wonderful man from England named Adrian Gilbert. Now, Adrian Gilbert wrote The Orion Mystery with Robert Bluval, and he is so knowledgeable about what's going on over there.
Right. Yeah, we got our own organization. It is non-profit, and the name is the pyramidcenter.org, which is established, it was established over here in California. And I don't know if I did send you the website with the address.
Would love to add to it if I possibly could.
Okay, beautiful. So I will, after we finished, I will send you via email the address, the website, so you can look at it and tell me what you think about it.
Good. Great.
That's
So,
why.
some of the good things that are coming in 2016, I hate to be all doom and gloom, are medical breakthroughs. Could I tell you a little bit about those?
No, you
We need
didn't
to
tell
have
me.
medical. No, could I tell you a little
Oh
bit about
yeah, sure. Yeah,
We
I
need to
didn't hear.
have some happiness here. I see medical breakthroughs. Scientists will develop a cure for Ebola, more effective understanding for the treatment of Alzheimer's, more natural treatments found to cure serious ailments, weight disorders and obesity. A link is found. It's diet and fast foods, especially diet soda. If you think that drinking diet soda is going to help you lose weight, not true. Not true. There's new treatments for arthritis and diabetes, new medical breakthroughs for Parkinson's and multiple sclerosis. Tooth regeneration changes dentistry. Isn't that interesting?
That's it.
First HIV vaccine will become available, and a pill becomes available to prevent sunburn, which of course gives us the skin cancer, as well as psoriasis and many other things. So
Right.
those are some of the medical breakthroughs, and I'm thrilled about that.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And something else, what you got?
Pardon?
Some other predictions, what you can tell us about?
I didn't understand the question. I'm sorry.
No. I said, and do you have other predictions which you want to say?
I'm going to be adding more.
Okay.
Maybe we can work in a month. We can do
You
that.
can, again.
Sure.
Okay, beautiful.
I have to just let it come through. I've been through an awful lot these last 2 weeks. You know, we're in the 2 weeks of darkness, and it started on the 18th of November, and it's going to continue through the end of Thanksgiving, the 29th of November. And look at what's happened in this time of darkness. This is astrological. By the way, I am on YouTube every week, and I do give the weekly astrology to everybody.
Okay,
So,
beautiful.
It's astrological, and we are going to be expecting more from ISIS. We're not done yet. There's at least two more
Tomorrow.
upsets that will be happening. They did Paris, they did Brussels, they did Africa, and there's more. I expect something in London, something somewhere in the UK. Actually, I thought it was going to be around the White Cliffs of Dover, but I don't know why. So I have to allow it to come through me. I'm not one that just writes a prediction to write a prediction. It has to be valid, and it has to come through my body before I can write it.
Right. Okay, Elizabeth, I thank you very much.
You're very welcome. And may I tell people how to reach me?
Oh, yeah, please say it. And
My website is www.new-visions.com. So there's a dash in the middle between new and visions, new-visions.com. And there's a 24-hour answering service if you'd like to call to book an appointment. And that number is 934-8986.
And of course, for our listeners, we need to state that they need to call 001, which is United States. So first they need...
be on Skype. It's Elizabeth _ on Skype.
Right. But it is United States area code. Maybe somebody gonna call you from phone too, not only via Skype.
So I'm between Philadelphia and New York City.
Okay.
Right?
All right. I thank you very much, Joyce.
Well, you're very welcome. This has been a pleasure.
Bye-bye.